Alright, hello again. I'm so pleased to see you. Or you you are seeing me. Well, let's start with the new prediction round. And this time we got a couple of interesting comebacks, shall we say, that I want to talk about. The first one is of David Lemieux, who, as we know, suffered a rather devastating defeat to Triple G in his last fight in November. He is taking a much lighter opponent anyway, who is called James De La Rosa. And this guy has 3 losses in 26 fights. James De La Rosa. And he has already been knocked out once. He's from Mexico. But in his last fight he was knocked out by Hugo Centeno Jr. in 5 rounds. So I think Lemieux, he will, unless he has been permanently damaged by Triple G, that he will win pretty easy. That he will win by a 3rd round knockout, or an early knockout anyway. But I have predicted a 3rd round knockout. Yeah. So that's the first fight that I wanted to talk about. We have also the second comeback of Zab Judah, who hasn't been who has lost 9 fights so far, and he lost in his last fight, which was 2 years ago, on December 7th, 2013. He lost to Paul Malignaggi by a clear unanimous decision. And he also lost to Danny Garcia before that. So this is a true comeback, since he hasn't fought in two years, and he's fighting this guy who looks like a total no-hoper. He's called Josh Torres, and his record is 15-4. He hasn't been stopped yet, so he has fought some like this undefeated guy called Dusty Hernandez Harrison, and he wasn't stopped by him. So I don't think Judah is going to do that either. There is a possibility, because he can still punch, but at this weight he was never such a devastating puncher as at the light welterweight. So I think this will end on points, and especially since it's a 10 rounder. Anyway, I don't know how much wisdom there is in Judah returning now, and at this stage and at his age, like he's 38, and he cannot achieve anything, like anything big now at this stage, in this division, as strong as it is now. But there you have it. And another interesting smaller fight that I want to say something about is Zolani Tete, who is now fighting at the bantamweight. He previously held the IBF super flyweight title. And he is just incredibly tall for he's 5'9" in fact. And so he's fighting at least for now, as a bantamweight. This is for the vacant IBF International bantamweight title. He's fighting Jose Santos Gonzalez, who hasn't really fought any big names so far. I think Tete is a hard enough puncher that his power should show at this weight too. I imagine he has grown into the new division very well, as tall as he is. I think this will take him some time, but I think he will eventually stop this guy. I have predicted a 9th round knockout for him. I don't know if he plans to stay at this weight, because he's still listed as a super flyweight at box, right? But I should think so, that he is so tall, and it can be easy for him to make the super flyweight limit anymore. So it's a wise choice. And the bantamweight division is not as strong as it was a few years back, when we had all these guys like Agbeko and Darchinian and Johnny Perez and Mares and all these guys, so, and Anselmo Moreno, of course, but it still is kind of strong, so. And then we go to the 3 main fights. First is Jürgen Bremer against Edward Gutknecht, an old German showdown. And Gutknecht, he has shown himself to be a rather average fighter, I mean, he has gotten a couple of good wins, but he wasn't that impressive in any of them. When he got the decision over Uzelko, but it was a very close fight, and it could have gone either way. And same against Baljai. Before that, it was a rather controversial decision. So, and Bremer, despite being as old as he is, he's 37. He's still, I think, in a good shape. So, and in his last fights, he has been impressive. He won his last 3 title defenses by stoppage. So I think he will stop Gutknecht in the 8th round. Yeah, and then the next fight is one which may not happen at all after what I heard, but anyway, it's Guillermo Rigondeaux, the Jackal, against James Dickens. And there has been some talk about Rigondeaux not getting the visa to come to UK, because this fight is supposed to be in and now it seems it's cancelled anyway. So anyway, I should not talk about it then. there is no point. I just saw that it has been cancelled. So, and okay, then we move on to the next one. Terry Flanagan versus Derry Matthews. Dirty Derry. Flanagan is undefeated at 29-0, and he has won. He is in his last fight. He was very impressive and stopped Diego Magdaleno in only 2 rounds, which nobody could predict. Because before that he kind of got lucky against Jose Zepeda. Zepeda got a dislocated shoulder and had to quit after only 2 rounds, but in his last fight he was really impressive. And Derry Matthews, he's never been this world-class fighter anyway, so I think Flanagan should be able to handle him pretty easy. I think he will stop him within the first 6 rounds. So I was kind of, it was hard for me to choose which round. And Matthews, he's rather tough. He's never been stopped before the 5th round. So I picked the 6th round TKO. But Flanagan will win for sure. Yeah. So, and we have, some other minor fights like Bernabe Concepcion, who is fighting against Jimmy Paipa. And Concepcion has been a solid contender. He lost to Juan Lopez, if you remember, by knockout in the second, but he also knocked him down first. And so I have chosen him to win by 5th round knockout. And we have also Cedric Vitu against Ruben Varon for the European Super Welterweight title. And I have picked Vitu to win by 10th round TKO because Varon is over the hill. He's been fighting for a long time now, and Vitu is still only 30, and he's in a good shape. So yeah, well, that was it. I guess that was all I had. So see you. Peace.